Live from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois this afternoon, our coverage of the CCAC Baseball Championship Tournament for the year 2023 rolls on. Our third game of the day and our third elimination game of the day on tap as this afternoon in an elimination bracket matchup. It is the St. Xavier Cougars against the St. Ambrose Fighting Bees. Hi again, everybody, and a very good late Saturday afternoon to one and all as we hold forth here at Dooley Health and Care Field, and it'll be St. Xavier against St. Ambrose, the winner to move on to play Monday morning at 10 a.m. And the winner of this game will play the loser of tonight's 7 p.m. game between Indiana South Bend and Roosevelt, and then the winner of that game, the Monday morning 10 a.m. game, will move to the final round of the tournament against the winner of tonight's game. So we're glad to have you aboard here as St. Xavier able to get here by virtue of a 9-6 win over Trinity Christian. And St. Xavier able to hold off a late Trinity Christian rally there to win the ball game. And meanwhile, St. Ambrose defeating St. Francis in the first game today by a final of 7-2. And thus they advance to the ball game here this afternoon. So we're great to have you with us here on what's become a windy and warm Saturday afternoon. And it'll be St. Ambrose being the visiting team here this afternoon. And it's Caleb Zier on the mound today for St. Xavier. Right-hander kicks and deals in the first pitch of the ball game. Will be low and away ball one to Noah McCreary. So the first pitch of today's contest at 4:07 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time, as the next pitch will be down and away. 2 balls and no strikes now to Noah McCreary. Great to have you aboard here for this elimination ball game. It'll be McCreary followed by Adrian Zatara, the right fielder. Then it'll be Cooper Huckabone batting third in at first base, followed by Brock Weber, the DH. And the next pitch swung on and bounced to the right side. This looks like it'll stay fair. And gloving it and then applying the tag. It'll be a 3 unassisted put out here. As getting to the ball, Trevor Hauscher at first base and was able to apply the tag. And so that is the first out of the ball game. And that's the way the ball game begins on a 3 unassisted put out. And that'll bring up Adrian Zatara. Again, Brock Weber, the DH, hitting fourth, followed by the shortstop, Bryce Vincent. Then Jake Muha, the center fielder, followed by Chris McFarland, who will be playing in left field as there's a ball. 1-0 to Zatara. Then it'll be Mike Pavisa at third base batting eighth, and Nate Villagomez batting ninth and catching as the next pitch will be down and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Adrian Zatara. And it'll be Parker Ruth on the mound today for St. Ambrose. There's a swing and a miss. And so now Zatara in a 2-1 count. Just underway again, a windy, warm day here. Wind has been, I believe, well, looks like now it's shifted and blowing out toward left field. There's a strike. And the count even now at 2-2. Temperature right now looks like it's checking in at 76 degrees as the 2-2 missing inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Zatara. So 2 of the 3 teams that are slated for elimination have been knocked out of the tournament. There's a swing and a ground ball towards short and a throw to the outfield side of the bag. Reeled in nicely there by Hauscher. And that'll be the second out of the inning. That ball a grounder directly at Declan Smythe at shortstop. And so that is a 6-3 put out for the second out of the inning. And here is Cooper Huckabone. So we have basically 4 teams remaining. Indiana South Bend, Roosevelt, St. Xavier, and St. Ambrose in contention for the title. There's a swing, actually no swing, a called strike. 0-1 to Cooper Huckabone. Righty versus righty here as we play in the top of the first inning. And Huckabone stands in and goes after this next pitch and will foul it away. So now Huckabone in a two-strike situation here. Caleb Xavier, the right-hander, into the wind and the pitch. And that'll be a curve, over but low, and the at-bat will continue. Brock Weber awaits on deck for St. Ambrose. Here's the sign now and the windup in the delivery. Swung on and pulled foul wide of third. Shadows starting to lengthen here in the late afternoon sunshine at Dooley Health and Care Field. Great to have you aboard with us. Glad you're spending part of your Saturday with us as we roll on through our 4-game schedule on this Saturday. There's a ball low and away. 3-2 now for Huckabone. Trying to spoil what would be a 1-2-3 inning for Caleb Xavier. Here's the wind and the delivery. Swung on, bounced to the left side. Smythe backhands in the hold at short. Plants, throws to first base, and that'll end the inning. So in the inning for St. Ambrose, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base after a half. St. Ambrose nothing. St. Xavier coming to bat. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. Back with you from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. We have time now to set the batting order for you for St. Xavier as we head to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Kevin Dowling leading it off and in left field, followed by Patrick Hayes, the second baseman, then Evan Orzik, the catcher. Declan Smythe batting fourth and at shortstop. Darren Zerillo at third base, followed by Sam Ryan, the DH. Batting seventh, Daniel Barrios in right field, then Trevor Hauscher batting eighth and at first base, and then it'll be Colin Wolfe batting ninth and in center field. And Parker Ruth on the mound today, working out of the stretch for St. Ambrose in the first pitch, and it'll be down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. You know, I always wonder, St. Ambrose able to win the first of the 3 games today, and so they got a little bit of a break in waiting until now to play their second game of the day, while St. Xavier basically playing back-to-back games as if it's a typical doubleheader. And you wonder if one team might have an advantage over the other. There's a ball outside. And so 2 balls and no strikes here to Kevin Dowling. Dowling, right-handed batter, awaits. And the pitch. Taken down and away. 3-0 here. Dowling in the game against Trinity Christian, going 2 for 5 with a pair of runs batted in, also scored twice. 3 balls, no strikes the count here. Ruth coming set. And the pitch. Fastball down low, ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Dowling to start things off for St. Xavier.
Number 45, Patrick Hayes.
And that'll bring to the plate Patrick Hayes. Hayes, in the first game of the day for the Cougars, he went 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. So Ruth versus Hayes. And righty versus righty in the first pitch. That'll be over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. Sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. Had a little bit of rain during the first game today, but that moved through, and it did not cause any kind of a delay. As Ruth deals here, missing inside. And now 2-0 here. And Parker Ruth, I don't believe as yet he has thrown a strike. This is where pitching depth always helps a team when you get later and later into the tournament. The 2-0 in for a strike. And so that makes it now 2 balls and 1 strike. Parker Ruth this year, no wins or losses, a 7.50 ERA. There's a pitch that looked like it was a little bit of almost a mini breaking ball that came in for the called strike. So now 2-2 to Patrick Hayes. Here's the set and the 2-2 offering. Pulled down the third base line. It'll be over the bag, and they'll call it a foul ball. And the home plate umpire held up his left hand and kind of closed his thumb and forefinger together as if to say it was foul by that much. So we hold at 2-2. Evan Orzik will bat next, and then Declan Smythe if we continue on that far. Parker Ruth now, he faces the plate, and then he turns and comes set. As part of his routine, there's a ball low and away and knocked down there behind the plate by Villagomez. And so now 3-2 here. And Ruth starting to throw a lot of pitches here early in the game. Has not yet retired a batter, and he has a full count to deal with here. Here's the set. And the pitch. And it hits the batter, who turned all the way around, and Hayes is in a little bit of pain there. Got him, I think, right between the shoulder blades and the back. So a hit batter there. Hayes is aboard. And here is Evan Orzik.
Number 27, Evan Orzik.
Orzik will bat here after Parker Ruth hits his 4th batter of the season. So here's Orzik now. Orzik going 2 for 3 in game 1 for St. Xavier. Left-handed batter stands in. As 2 on and nobody out in the inning. Here's the set by Ruth and the pitch. Fastball in there, outer half, called strike, and it's 0-1. St. Xavier looking to score in the first inning. They jumped to a 6-0 lead in the game against Trinity Christian, and then they held on. Trinity Christian came with a late charge. The final of that game was 9-6. There was a huge play in that game, a double play on a fly out to center field that really changed the momentum. There's a ball high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike now. Game 4 tonight, the only non-elimination game of our schedule today. That'll be between Roosevelt and Indiana South Bend. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Here's the set now by Parker Ruth and the delivery. And it'll be in there for a called strike. Looked like letter high to make it a ball and 2 strikes. Right now, Ruth, I'm sure, could really use a strikeout. Could really use a double play, and if you really want to push the envelope, he could use a triple play here, and that would get him out of the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've seen it happen. Ruth at the set looks back at second twice. Now the pitch. And that misses outside. So now it's 2-2. Ruth comes set. And the 2-2. Pull to the right side, and then he'll sneak into right field for a base hit. Lead runner rounding third, being waved home. Here comes the throw in from right field. And it'll go to third base as the run scores, in St. Xavier for the 2nd straight game, able to jump out to the early lead as Evan Orzik drives in a run on a single. Kevin Dowling coming in to score. On the play, Patrick Hayes to third. Pinch runner coming into the game now for St. Xavier. as Declan Smythe now will stride to the plate. That's Hadlesey coming into the game now as a pinch runner for Orzek. And now a run in on the RBI single by Orzek. There's a golf swing and a ball hit high into the air. Short left field, angling toward the foul line, and moving over there, Bryce Vincent, the shortstop, to make the catch. So one away for Darren Zerillo. Zerillo in the opening game today for St. X, going 2 for 4 with a pair of RBIs and also scoring a run. 15 combined runs. I'm going to have to scan the bracket here to see. That's got to be near, if not at the top, as far as runs scored in this game, in this tournament, in a single game. There's a ball low, 1-0 to Darren Zerillo. But before I make the definitive call, I will reach for the bracket here. Zerillo stands in. Runners at first and third. Here's the set now by Parker Ruth. And the pitch. High and away to make it 2-0 for Zerillo. Well, let's see here. 15 runs in the game between St. Francis and Calumet. That was a 10-5 win. Both teams have since been eliminated. Then we had 6-5 and, well, 17 scored. There's a strike call to the knees. 17 scored in the Roosevelt win over St. Ambrose, 12-5 the final there. But then 18 in the game yesterday here in Joliet between Indiana South Bend and St. Francis. And it looks like that right now is the winner, as that was an 11-7 final in favor of Indiana South Bend. Parker Ruth now looks in for the side. And the pitch. Swing and a miss at a ball in the quote-unquote dirt around home plate there. Again, this is an all-turf field, and where you'd have the dirt cutouts, it is painted a dirt-colored brown, and we just say in the dirt. 2-2 here now to Darren Zerillo. Long pause, and now the delivery. Swinging a foul straight back. Boy, it looked like there that Ruth really tried to put a little something extra on that pitch. We don't have a speed gun or a radar gun here, and so we don't know the velocity of the pitches, but that one looked like it had a little extra something behind it. Stays 2-2 now to Darren Zerillo. And the pitch. Swung on to the ball that came inside, and it'll be in between third and short to left field for a solid single. An RBI, and it's 2-0 as Patrick Hayes scores. 2-0 St. Xavier. So Zerillo, his third RBI of the day. And now here is Sam Ryan. Ryan, 1 for 3 with an RBI in game 1. Runners now at first and second. And the pitch, fouled off to the right, out of play. And it's 0-1 to the St. Xavier designated hitter. Wind whistling through the effects microphone here. Here's the set now. And the 0-1. That'll be in the dirt, just as I was saying a moment ago. And the count evens at a ball on a strike. Although, I've checked a few broadcasts going back on our YouTube streams, and the wind may be more audible for us in the booth with headsets on than maybe to the audience. But it is been riffling through the ballpark all day long. There's a pitch in the dirt, skips away from Villagomez. He cannot find the ball. Here's the runner rounding third, trying to score from second on a wild pitch. He slides in safely. And it's now 3-0 St. Xavier. Hadlesey there, he just did not stop. He kept rolling around third base, did not let up at all, and he comes in to score on the wild pitch. And it's 3-0. On the play, Zerillo to second base. And a meeting at the mound here, and that, I think, will be it for Parker Ruth. And he's the second pitcher during this Saturday's schedule of games to be lifted in the first inning, the second starter. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back, tell you about the new man on the mound for St. Ambrose. It's 3-0 St. Xavier, and they are looking to pad their lead. We'll take a break and come back. You're tuned to CCAC Tournament Baseball. Well, understandable here that a coach with an elimination game in the season on the line would want to take a struggling pitcher out early, and that's what happens here. So now Nick Hernandez is on the mound for St. Ambrose. He has an 0-1 record with a 5.40 ERA this year. Has thrown 13 1/3, and the first pitch here is fouled off to the right, out of play. As Sam Ryan remains at the plate, this is the latest also of what we've seen now, multiple pitching change during mid-at-bat. And here's the set now and the delivery by Hernandez, and it'll be spoiled foul to the right side. And 2-2 now to Sam Ryan. So a short-lived outing for Parker Ruth. Here's Hernandez coming set in the delivery. Up in the zone, and a swing and a miss there as Ryan chasing there and coming up empty for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and here's Daniel Barrios. Barrios, a pair of RBIs in game number 1. Barrios was 1 for 4 and also scored a run. And he bats here. Left-handed batter awaits. And the first pitch, and that'll be up and away. 1 ball and no strikes here. Trevor Hauscher next, then it would be Colin Wolfe, who's getting the start today in center field in game number 2 for St. Xavier. Here's the set now by Hernandez, and the pitch. Breaking ball in for a called strike. And that evens the count 1-1. Three 3-0 ball game, bottom of the first inning. There's a wave and a miss. There's actually, I think, a foul tip officially, but either way, 1-2 now. St. Xavier now 9 combined first inning runs here in their games today. Here's the set and the delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. So Hernandez comes in, quickly strikes out 2 batters, and gets his team out of the jam, or at least keeps the opposition to minimal damage. As in the inning, 3 runs for St. Xavier on, it looks like, the 1 hit, no errors, and they leave 1. And after 1, it is St. Xavier 3, St. Ambrose nothing. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. All right, we head to the top of the second inning here in our elimination game. 3-0 St. Xavier with a lead. And I will flip the score pad over here and tell you that it'll be Brock Weber leading it off for St. Ambrose. Weber in game one today for the Bees this morning went 0 for 3 with a run scored, had a walk, and hits this one for a ground out, and that'll be the first out of the inning. So Weber retired, and that brings up Bryce Vincent, the shortstop. Vincent this morning went 0 for 3. So 3 unassisted on the putout on the at-bat for Brock Weber. And now here's Bryce Vincent. Caleb Zier into the line, and the first pitch is in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Zier working quickly, kicks and deals. And that'll be down and away. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Sun right now behind some cloud cover. A little bit of concern, maybe showers and some storms maybe later on today and into the evening hours. There's a swing and a grounder inside the bag at third. It's a fair ball rolling down the left field line toward the bullpen. And a great play there in left field as the Cougars able to get the ball back in quickly, and that holds Bryce Vincent to a single. McFarland racing over there. Or rather, Dowling racing over there in left field and getting to the ball quickly and getting that ball back in to limit the damage there on that at bat. And so Vincent aboard at first with a base hit, and now here's Jake Muha. Righty versus lefty, and the first pitch will be down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Muha in game number 1, going 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. A lot of offense in the 2 previous games today. There's a ball outside. 2 balls and no strikes here to Muha. Chris McFarland next, and then it'll be Mike Plavisa as we play here in the top of the second inning. 3-0 St. Xavier. St. Ambrose trying to get something started here as Muha takes a ball in down low. And that makes it a 3-0 count. So 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch from Zier. In for a strike. Muha taking all the way there, and that runs it now to 3-1. Caleb Zier comes set. Long look in. Now the kick and the pitch. And a 1-hopper over the mound. Glove near the bag at second base by Declan Smythe, who steps on the bag, throws to first base. 6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. So in the inning for St. Ambrose, no runs and 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base as Declan Smythe, a nifty play there, able to make the play and step on the base and throw right to first base for the out, and that ends the inning. So a promising start there a little bit for St. Ambrose. Goes by the boards, and we go bottom 2 to St. Xavier 3 and St. Ambrose nothing. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. Trevor Hauscher leading it up now as we head to the St. Xavier half of the second inning, and the first pitch is in for a called strike from Nick Hernandez, and so 0-1 here to Hauscher. 8, 9, and 1 in the order to up now for St. Xavier as the Cougars lead it 3-0. There's a swing and a foul back this way, and it hits I think it hit the window right above us and to our right. Not far off. I remember last year we had one just miss. As there's a swing and a miss, and quickly, 1 strike, 2 strikes, and 3 strikes, and that's an out for Hauscher. And now that'll bring to the plate Colin Wolf. Wolf in game number 1 went 0 for 2 today for St. Xavier. Right-handed batter stands in, and the pitch. That'll be high and tight, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Hernandez's assignment clear. Keep your team close in this elimination game. There's a called strike on the outer half. So now 1-1. You can get a ball up here into the booth. It would have to be a very precise path. As here's a pop-up right side in foul territory and near the first base coach's box. Actually in the first base coach's box. Cooper Huckabone makes the catch for the out. 2 up, 2 down, and now here's Kevin Dowling. Dowling walked to begin the game for St. Xavier in the bottom of the first inning, and then later came around to score. Here's the set now by Hernandez. And the pitch. And that was in his wheelhouse, but he kind of topped it foul. A bouncer down the third base line, and so 0-1 for Dowling. Game 4 tonight, Roosevelt against Indiana South Bend, the only 2 undefeated teams remaining in the tournament. That should be a good ball game. They played a couple of good games toward the end of the season. In fact, they wrapped up the year. There's a swing and a foul back. 0-2. Indiana South Bend won the first game of that series 7-4 over Roosevelt. Then they played a doubleheader the following day that was washed out by rain, and it was not made up. Here's the set now, and the 0-2. And that'll be served into left field, dropping quickly, and in there for a base hit. McFarland ranging over to his left. Gets to it and tosses it back in, but that is a 2-out base hit here for Kevin Dowling. And the inning continues for Patrick Hayes. Hayes was hit by a pitch back in the first inning and then later came around to score. Hernandez comes set of the pitch. And that's a breaking ball in for a called strike. 0-1. Righty versus righty here. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. And now 0-2 here to Hayes. 2-out runner aboard at first base. Parker Ruth, by the way, going a third of an inning today. 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 were earned. He walked 1 and did not strike out a batter. So that's the pitching line for the Fighting Bee starter. There's a swing and a sharp grounder. Picked up on 1 hop there by Cooper Huckabone, who steps on the bag to end the inning. That was a high-speed 1-hopper, and Huckabone equal to the task and ends the inning on an unassisted putout. So in the inning, no runs for St. Xavier on a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. And after 2, it is St. Xavier 3 and St. Ambrose nothing. You're tuned to CCAC Tournament Baseball. Here we go now to the top of the third inning. It'll be Chris McFarland starting things off for St. Ambrose. Bottom of third of the order coming up for the Fighting Bees, as they trail 3-0 in this game. And Caleb Zier going to work now for the St. Xavier Cougars, and the first pitch will be over but low. 1 ball and no strikes to McFarland. McFarland, Pavisa, and then Nate Villagomez due up here. Sun back out as there's a called strike. 1-1 now to McFarland. McFarland in game 1 today for St. Ambrose, going 0 for 3 with a run scored. There's a strike called. That makes it now 1-2 for McFarland. McFarland also had a walk that led to his run that he scored. There's a little bit of a golf swing, swing and a miss, and a strikeout for McFarland, and 1 away in the inning. Caleb Zier picks up his first strikeout of the game, and now here's Mike Pavisa. Pavisa in the first game today, 1 for 2 with a run batted in. First pitch here to the Fighting Bee third baseman, missing low and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Nate Villagomez next, then back to the top of the order. Top of 3-0 St. Xavier. There's a ball in the dirt, skips back behind the catcher, Evan Orzek. And now 2-0 to Pavisa. Left-handed batter back into the batter's box. And here comes the next delivery. And this is skied into the air down the left field line. Slicing and out of play. Dowling giving chase there in the bullpen, but running out of space. So 2-1 now for Mike Pavisa. Righty versus lefty here is Zier into the wind in the delivery. Fouled straight back. Actually a little bit to the left. Lands in the upper deck about maybe 50 feet to my left. And now here's the 2-2 down and away to fill the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I was fearful of rain. A little bit of rain was falling when I arrived at the ballpark this morning about 9 a.m. as the next pitch, swing and a miss, drop third strike here. Orzek recovers, has to make a long throw to first base. It was low there and secured by Hauscher at first base to end the at-bat and complete the out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Caleb Zier, and now here's Nate Villagomez. Villagomez today in game 1 for the Bees. Wound up going as I scroll down on the score, the box score page, as there's a strike to make it 0-1. He was 2 for 3 with an RBI. 0-1 to the number 9 hitter in the Fighting Bee order. There's a swing and a miss, and a ball down in the zone. And now no balls and 2 strikes, and Caleb Zier working on a 1-2-3 inning. Looking to efface the minimum through 3 if he gets this batter. Here comes the delivery. And hit well to left field, but playable. Drifting back into his left, Dowling. Reaches up, makes the catch. That will end the inning. And indeed, Caleb Zier, he is allowed a hit, but he has still faced the minimum of 9 through 3 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We go bottom 3-0 St. Xavier. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. Catcher Evan Orzek will start us off here in the bottom of the third inning. St. Xavier, a 3 spot in the bottom of the first, and that's where we stand, 3-0 in favor of the Cougars. As here's Orzek. Orzek 1 for 1 with an RBI, and the first pitch to him here will miss outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Orzek, Smythe, and Zerillo do up here for St. Xavier. Here comes the set now. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. It looked like there that Hernandez kind of pulled the string on that one a little bit. Not quite the high velocity offering, but he got a good result as he was able to induce a swing and a miss, and the count even now in 1-1. And after that wordy analysis of the last pitch, we're ready to continue. And the delivery. Curve down low, and it's now 2-1. First 3 batters reached base in this game for St. Xavier, and they all scored. And that's been the extent of the scoring in this game. Here's the pitch. Missing well off the outside edge there. 3-1 now. That pitch was not anywhere near the zone. Hernandez so far has struck out 3 batters, in danger here of issuing his first walk. 3 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner. Orzek had already tossed his bat away, thinking it was ball 4, and the umpire says not so fast. And so that fills the count 3-2. Always kind of like that phrase, not so fast. Be a little bit patient. Here comes the wind and actually out of the stretch now, Hernandez. And now the delivery. Ball 4 high, and so mentioning being patient, and patience was a virtue there for Evan Orzek as he gets his walk.
Number 11, Declan Smythe.
And that'll bring to the plate Declan Smythe. And once again now coming in to run will be Sean Haddelsey. He's the
First base, number 9, Sean Hamilton.
He's the sophomore, 5'8", 180 from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And he's gotten a lot of playing time in this role here in the tournament. And he scored the 3rd run of the first inning. And that pitch high and tight as Smythe wanted to try to sacrifice bunt there, and it, I think, hit him on the left shoulder. It did make contact because he's trying to walk it off, but they may rule that he tried to offer it that pitch. And it is, in fact, 0-1. That is a tough strike to take there. So Smythe remains in the batter's box. No balls, 1 strike. 1 on, nobody out, bottom of 3, 3-0, St. Xavier the lead. And the pitch. Smythe again, it squares to bunt, pushes it out almost all the way to the mound, picked up there by Hernandez, throws to first for the out. Haddelsey to second base. So a sacrifice bunt there by Declan Smythe. And now Darren Zerillo a chance to perhaps drive in a run. He has a single back in the first inning, eventually advanced as far as second, but then no further. All right, here's the set now by Hernandez. And the pitch. In the dirt, good stop behind the plate by Nate Villagomez, who over the years, having seen him play, he's an excellent defensive catcher. 1 ball, no strikes for Zerillo. And here's the set now by Hernandez and the pitch. And that'll be tossed foul to the right side out of play. So even us up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Some cloud cover moving in here, but I don't think it's anything like a complete overcast sky, which is what we had to start the proceedings this morning at 10 o'clock. Here comes the 1-1 offering. Fastball missing outside. 2-1. The lights were on for the better part of the first 2 games. They are not on right now. They'll have to come on eventually because we have a 7 o'clock game. 2 balls and a strike. 1 on, 1 out. Breaking ball, look out, that nearly hit him in the helmet. He ducked out of the way, and now it gets away from Villagomez. And Hattlesey takes third base. Wild pitch there. And the 4th run of the game for the St. Xavier Cougars is now 90 feet away. The count here to Zerillo now is, I believe, 3-1. Yes, it is. For once, the play-by-play announcer guesses correctly. 3-1 pitch fouled back out of play over our heads. And that might have cleared the building and landed out, if not on the street, at least on the entryway in front of the main entrance to the ballpark. So 3-2 now for Zerillo. And the delivery. A little bit of a golf swing here. Pop foul back of home plate again. And we'll hold at 3-2. So with 4 games today, starting to progress toward the latter stages of this tournament, which we are scheduled for a day off tomorrow, and then 2 games on Monday and maybe 1 on Tuesday. Infield moving in a little bit here. And that next pitch will miss inside, ball 4, and that puts runners at first and third for St. Xavier. Was that a strikeout? Let's see here. That bat was tossed away, and I thought it was ball 4, just judging by the reaction of the hitter. But in fact, it will be now Sam Ryan to the plate, and there are 2 away in the inning. And the pitch. And that'll be a strike on the inner half. And it is 0-1 to Ryan. So 2 down and a runner at third. Daniel Barrios would be next. And that 0-1 pitch missing outside, a ball on a strike now. Yeah, that was a called third strike on Zerillo. I thought it was for sure ball 4, especially the way Zerillo reacted. The pitch, and that'll be over but low. And so now 2-1 the count. Hernandez comes set, and the delivery. Did not mean to swing. He checked it up, and it was fouled off to the right. Inning started with a walk, and then a sacrifice and a strikeout. And a runner at third base here. Sun back out here now at Dooley Health and Care Field. And the delivery. Pulled foul to the left side. And we'll hold here at now 2 balls and 2 strikes. St. Xavier with 3 hits in the game thus far, and St. Ambrose with 1. There goes the train. Here's the pitch. Missing inside. There's a great story I heard a couple of weeks ago while listening to one of the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball games on my MLB app. Here's the 3-2. And this is pulled sharply and into left field for a base hit. Hattlesey scores. And it's now a 4-0 St. Xavier lead on the RBI single by Sam Ryan. Good at bat there, and it wound up paying off for Ryan. So a 4-0 ball game, 2 out hitting always just so important. And now here's Daniel Barrios. Action in the St. Ambrose bullpen, meeting at the mound here. And let's see if that is it. St. Ambrose right now not able to afford to fall really any further behind. 4 runs is really kind of enough trouble. As we have the meeting at the mound. St. Xavier 3 in the first, now 1 more here in the third. Daniel Barrios due up here for St. Xavier. Meeting continues. I'm going to get out the binoculars here and see if I can see who's warming up in the St. Ambrose pen. There is a right-hander heating up. As the meeting breaks up on the mound, Hernandez does stay in the ball game.
Now batting for St. Xavier, number 33, Daniel Barrios.
Daniel Barrios now to bat. As warming up in the pen is Connor O'Hara, whom, if memory serves, started a ball game in this tournament. There's a throw to first base and the runner back in. So runner aboard at first, 2 down, and a run in here for St. X. The pitch, high and away, and that's ball 1. So anyway, the story about the train. It was an anniversary of an event that occurred back in the 80s. The kind of tease that was featured on the broadcast. Here's the set now and the delivery by Hernandez. In the dirt, good stop behind the plate by Villagomez. But there was I think a AAA game. Might have been in Durham, somewhere in the southeast. The Toledo Mud Hens were involved. And there was a home run hit in that game. Here's the set now and the pitch. Swung on, popped up right side, foul territory, and Villagomez drops it. Trying to make a one-handed catch, and he dropped it. And so the inning will continue. That should have been the end of the inning. The at-bat continues for Daniel Barrios. So anyway, there was a home run and the ballpark, like many, near a set of train tracks, and there was a passing freight train beyond the outfield wall. The ball landed. The tease, the kind of the headline tease as there's a ball high and away, it was the anniversary of the longest home run ever. And apparently the ball landed on a flatbed car, and there's a ball high for ball 4, and the inning continues. It landed on a flatbed train car, and actually it might have been one of those open cars filled with maybe something like coal, and it landed on top of the car, and nobody discovered it until the train stopped after about a 200-mile journey. And whenever I hear now or see a train go by a ballpark, I am now going to be reminded of that story, as there's the first pitch missing inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Trevor Hauscher. And it makes me kind of grin when I think of that ball just resting as the train goes on to points unknown. Here's the set now by the right-hander on the hill for St. Ambrose, and there's a called strike. As Hernandez, right now, I think he's just certainly trying to stay in the game, but more importantly, trying to keep his team in the contest here. 4-0 ball game, 2 on, 2 out in the inning, and the pitch. And that'll be a fastball on the inner edge, called strike. Might have had some movement on it, so actually, on second thought, I'm not actually positive that was a heater, but either way, 1-2 now here to Trevor Hauscher, who has a swinging strikeout in this game. Here's the set now. Long pause on the pitch. Overthrew that one, and it was down and away. So that squares it up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hernandez trying to shut the door here. St. Xavier already with a run in this inning. Here comes the set now. The 2-2. Started to swing, held up, dropped third strike, tag applied, and that will end the inning as it turns out. So it is a strikeout. Boy, 2 interesting strikeouts here in this inning. And in the inning for St. Xavier, we had a run in the inning on a hit, and did we have an error there? Either way, there were 2 left on base. We'll check that out. Anyway, we played 3. It is 4-0 St. Xavier. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. We move to the top half of inning number 4 here in downtown Joliet, Illinois. And it'll be Noah McCreary leading it off. Top of the order coming up here for St. Ambrose. St. Xavier the lead by a score of 4-0. Caleb Zier going to work. And the first pitch. And it'll be over but a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes the count. McCreary, Zatara, and Huckabone due up for St. A. McCreary 0 for 1, grounded out to first base unassisted to start the ball game back in the opening frame. There's a bouncer to the right of the mound. Charging at second base, and I believe it's going to be, it'll be Hayes. Throws to first. It's in and out of the glove of Hauscher at first base. And so, in the end, it'll be McCreary winding up at second base, and we'll see how that is scored. They call it a single and then an error at second base. And so a runner in scoring position now for Adrian Zatara. That was a slow roller just right by the mound, and Hayes coming in and charging. Had to unload that ball quickly and was off the mark and got charged with an error. So here now is Zatara, grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Here's the first pitch to him, and it'll be low for ball 1. And to clarify, by the way, in the last half inning, there was an error charged on the drop pop foul by Nate Villagomez, the catcher for St. Ambrose. And now each team with an error in this game. Here comes the 1-0. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. And again, for the record, Evan Orzek re-enters the game at catcher to start this inning. Here's the set now, and the pitch. And it'll be in for a called strike, and it's 2-1. Zatara, the number 2 hitter in the St. Ambrose batting order, awaits. Right-hander. Back foot just inside the back line of the box. Swinging at bouncer, left side foul. And that makes it an even 2-2 count. Well, 4 runs is certainly not insurmountable. But if you're St. Ambrose right now, you need to start putting runs on the board and taking advantage of these opportunities. As the error giving them a runner in scoring position. Here comes the 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2 on a fastball. Way up high there. And a full count now for Zatara. Righty versus righty here. The set and the pitch. Swung on, popped up behind home plate. Orzek off with the mask, but it'll be out of play. That ball bounced high off the seating and landed right below us. And we'll hold it. A count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. So it is a full count. Baseball genius being displayed by your humble play-by-play broadcaster there. 3-2 and a full count. You can't beat that kind of analysis. As here's the 3-2, called third strike on the inside corner. Zatara thought he had a walk, was already headed to first base, but it winds up to be a called third strike. So 1 away in the inning. And now here's Cooper Huckabone. Well, right there is Zatara, not able to advance the runner. Runner at second, less than 2 out. You want to get that runner over to third base, but that didn't happen here. And now here's Huckabone, who grounded out to the shortstop his first time. Here's the set now and the pitch. And Huckabone takes down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Caleb Zier now, 3 strikeouts. He has struck out 3 of the last 5 batters he has faced. Here's the set and the pitch. Strike taken knee high to even it up in 1-1. Brock Weber would be next if the inning continues. And it will, barring a line-out double play. And the pitch. Bounced foul wide of third. And so it goes to 1-2. I don't know that I've seen so far in this tournament a line-out double play. We had that crucial fly ball that turned into a double play on an 8-2 put out in the previous game between St. Xavier and Trinity Christian. And it really was, you might hear the phrase game changer too often, and the meaning of that phrase might be diluted, but I think that was the very definition of a game-changing play. As Trinity Christian was starting to get momentum after they trailed after the first inning by 6. And they were getting closer before that double play occurred. There's a ball down and away. And now 2-2. Huckabone out of the batter's box. Now back in. Really more accurate to say out of the batting stance. A lot of the players now, they do not leave the batter's box, which is not at all a bad thing. Here's the set in the pitch. And that was down in the zone, and it's pulled foul left side. And we'll stay at 2-2. Game 4 tonight. Probably will be a little bit late. It's scheduled for 7 o'clock. Roosevelt against Indiana South Bend. The Lakers and the Titans tonight, 7 p.m. We'll have the stream for you. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and in the air. Fairly deep left field. This ball has some carry to it. Back to the track, to the wall, and it's caught at the wall there in left field by Dowling. Runner from second tags and heads to third base. Oh, that ball was not. Here's Brock Weber now. So 2 away in the inning. McCreary tagging up and going to third base, was just starting to say, kind of phrased it incorrectly, but that ball was not a home run by much. Meeting on the mound now here for St. Xavier, as we have 2 away in the inning and a runner at third base. 4-0 in favor of St. Xavier in this elimination ball game. Well, the winner of this game will have a well-earned rest, as you know, in a roundabout way, it's basically kind of a 2 out of 3 situation for this game, because the winner will have needed to win 2 of 3 games played today, although both teams will not have played in all 3. Anyway, here's the next pitch. First pitch in there for a called strike to Brock Weber, and he's behind at 0-1. Weber 0 for 1, grounded out to first base his first time up, and the pitch. Missing outside to even it up 1-1 now. Bryce Vincent would be next. 2-out runner at third base for St. Ambrose. They need to pick up this run. The set. And the pitch. Started to swing, held up, and appeal to the third base umpire. Says, I think the ruling was he went around. And it is 1-2. Well, to be honest with you there, I thought he held up in time, but down the line, third base umpire has a much better angle on that. Here comes the 1-2. Low and outside. Good block there by Evan Orzek. Right now, when you're a catcher, you got a man at third base. You cannot let anything by. Had a wild pitch earlier, and it wound up scoring a runner all the way from second base. Here's the set. And that will be just off the outside corner. You can hear the reaction there. I think both sides a little surprised at that call, and the count runs full to 3-2. Weber back into the batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the set by Caleb Zier, and the pitch. And that'll be lifted down the left field line. Long run here, foul territory, a diving attempt. And no catch. And the at-bat will continue. I think that was Declan Smythe going after that ball. Or was that Zerillo? Either way, a great effort. And the at-bat continues. They all converged to the same place, and I was watching the ball to see if it landed. With the player diving kind of in the peripheral vision. Wasn't focused on that. And either way, the at-bat continues. And the delivery. Swung on, and this one again in the air. This time to center field, and underneath it there, and the catch made by Colin Wolfe, and that will end the inning. And St. Xavier gets out of that situation without any damage. So no runs in the inning on a hit, an error, one left on base. And we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It is St. Xavier in front. They lead this elimination game over St. Ambrose by a score of 4-0. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. So we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Colin Wolfe starting it off here for St. Xavier. And the first pitch to the Cougar center fielder. Coming in down and away. 1 ball and no strikes here for Colin Wolfe. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters in the order coming up for St. X. Line drive and caught near third base by Mike Pavisa. And that's the first out of the inning. So 1 up, 1 down on a 2-pitch at bat. And here is Kevin Dowling. Dowling has a walk and a single here this afternoon in the second game of the day for St. Xavier. Here comes the set now. And the pitch. And that'll be a strike on the outside edge, and it is 0-1. Well, after this ball game ends, we will be down to 3 teams. Swinging a line drive into center field for a base hit here. So Dowling now 2 for 2 with a walk. He's having a good game. And that'll bring to the plate Patrick Hayes. And we're down to the last 4 teams of the 8 that started this event. These 2 teams here, St. Xavier and St. Ambrose, and then Indiana, South Bend, and Roosevelt swinging a grounder to second base, and there's a throw to first base. Let's see what's going on here. There was a grounder. McCreary tried to reach out and tag the runner himself and then did throw to first base, and then everybody was kind of standing around here a little bit. Dowling wound up going to second base as he was able to evade the tag. And there is 1 out in the inning. And it is a 4-3 put out there. Sometimes when you're watching a play and you kind of judge what goes on by the reactions of the players, but that was kind of a different situation. Anyway, it wasn't out. Here is Evan Orzek now, and he takes the first pitch down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Orzek walked his last time up. He has reached base twice, and each time the pinch runner coming in for him has scored the run. Next delivery here, and then it'll be fouled off to the left out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Action in the St. Xavier bullpen right now, although the pitcher is not on the actual mound in the pen. He's kind of lobbing it, I'd say from about maybe 50 feet away from where the bullpen catcher is. There's a ball high. 2-1 now to Evan Orzek. A little bit of a delay here, as I think maybe a ball got away from the bullpen there. Noah Scott was warming up there for St. Xavier for a while. And let's see now if he's a little play-by-play from the bullpen here. Nope, he's not yet on the pitching rubber in the bullpen. Anyway, here's the next pitch for the game, and this is ripped foul up the first base side. So now 2-2 the count. Kevin Dowling takes his lead at second base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the set now. And the right-hander on the mound deals as the pitch coming in. It is Connor O'Hara, by the way, pitching. Let's see if he came in to start the inning, as a matter of fact. Yes, he did. So O'Hara starting the inning here, allowing the single to start the inning, and then he gets the ground out. And now the right-hander kicks and fires, and that'll be in the dirt. Ball gets away here from Villagomez. And so runners now will be at first and third. So that's a walk. Dowling to third. Orzek aboard again. Seems like every time he bats, he gets on base. His on-base percentage has skyrocketed, I would suspect, in this game. Sean Hadlesey now will come out and run for St. Xavier. He has scored twice in this game. As Dowling advances to third, it was called a passed ball there. And now here's Declan Smythe, and the first pitch is in for strike 1. Smythe has grounded out twice. The second time, though, was a sacrifice. So officially, he's 0 for 1. Golf swings at this one, and he hits it just in the right spot in the left field for a base hit. 1 run is in, and the throw into third base, and that will allow the batter, Smythe, to take second base as St. Xavier able to extend their lead. Dowling scoring from third. That was a case, a little bit of a bad luck there for St. Ambrose. Vincent, the shortstop, was breaking toward the bag, anticipating maybe a play at second base, and that opened up the left side a little bit more, and it winds up to be an RBI single for Declan Smythe. He takes second on the throw. Hadlesey to third now. And now the pitch in the dirt, blocked nicely there by Nate Villagomez. As Darren Zerillo batting now for St. Xavier. And St. Xavier now out in front by a substantial 5-run margin. They lead at 5-0. O'Hara now looks in for the sign. And the pitch. And that'll be up high. And so the count now is 2 balls and no strikes to Darren Zerillo, who is 1 for 2 in this game, a single and a strikeout. Next pitch, upstairs on a heater, 3-0. And a miss now by O'Hara would load the bases. And I don't know if you could say the game is starting to slip away from St. Ambrose, but certainly they're not in an advantageous position, as there's the 3-0 strike up at the, that was a letter-high strike called there, and so it's now 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Swung on, and a fly ball. to center field, moving in about 3 steps there. Jake Muha makes the catch, and that will end the inning. A much needed out there by O'Hara to get out of that inning with minimal damage. So in the inning, a run for St. Xavier. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, a passed ball, and 2 left on base. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. Middle frame coming up. The score is St. Xavier 5, St. Ambrose nothing. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball.
Lead out for St. Ambrose, number 12, Bryce Vincent.
Well, here we go now to the top half of inning number 5. Bryce Vincent leading it off. And the first pitch will be down and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Vincent, Muha, and then Chris McFarland due up for the Bees. And now another pitch taken low. 2 balls and no strikes to Bryce Vincent. Top of 5, 5-0 St. Xavier. Here's the wind of the delivery. And that'll be in. Strike call to the knees. And that sends the count to 2 balls and a strike. Vincent 1 for 1 with a base hit. Hits this one solidly, but Declan Smythe at short gobbles it up, throws to first, one hopping in, and it'll be safe, the call, and Vincent is aboard at first base. We'll see how that'll be scored. Maybe an E6 or an E3. I'm going to guess it'll be on the shortstop, as Jake Muha will bat now. And that will be an E6. So an error on Smythe. And Jake Muha now to bat here for St. Ambrose. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop. So now Caleb Zier will try to work around the error. And by and large, in many situations, pitchers have done a pretty good job of doing that in this tourney. There's a swing and a miss. 0-1 now to Muha. McFarland next, then it would be Mike Paulvisa due up here in the St. Ambrose 5th inning. And the B offense needs to get to work here if they want to try to come back. There's a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Bryce Vincent at first base. And long pause. And now the pitch from Zier. Foul tip at home plate. And it is the second strike of the at-bat. And I have it in the book as 1-2. And it is, in fact, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scoreboard still says 0-1 right now. The next pitch down and away. And that'll make it now 2-2. St. Ambrose needing base runners. They get the benefit of an error on the first at bat of the inning. As the 2-2 missing inside. Muha kind of moving out of the way of that pitch that came down and in, and now it's a full count to the St. Ambrose center fielder. Three balls, two strikes. And the pitch. Swung on and pop foul left side. That'll be out of play. And we'll keep it a full count. Why not? Just getting started here. We're 2.5 games in. One more coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Or at some point thereafter. That's an hour and a half away. It could happen if we zip through this final half of the ball game. Swinging a foul ball off to the left side, out of play. Stays at 3-2. My guess, though, judging by the history of the tournament, maybe about 7:30 p.m. might be a little bit more realistic. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Taken low, ball 4. That's a great at bat there by Jake Muha, and now runners at first and second for St. Ambrose.
Batting number 7, Chris McFarland.
So here's Chris McFarland now, as Caleb Xavier, that was his first walk of the game, and now meeting at the mound here. Well, you get 2 or 3 here, and you're right back into the ball game. That's the thought that has to be in the mind of the Fighting Bees right now. Meeting on the mound breaks up. Game 4 today, Roosevelt against Indiana South Bend. That'll be a winner's bracket game. So here's Chris McFarland. McFarland is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a swinging strikeout. That was back in inning number 3. Here's the set now. And the pitch. Squaring the bunt, puts it down along the third base line. And fielded halfway up the line by Zerillo, who fires to first base for the out. Successful sacrifice there. Runners now at second and third. Base hit right now gets you a little bit closer. And now Mike Plavisa will bat here. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Caleb Xavier trying to keep the shutout intact. And more importantly, from the St. Xavier point of view, trying to keep it a 5-run ball game. First pitch missing outside, 1-0. Nate Villagomez next, then back to the top of the order for St. Xavier, for St. Ambrose. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners take their leads off of second and third, and the pitch. Strike on the outside edge. And we're even at a ball on a strike now. Faint shadows now appearing and now disappearing as the sun back behind some cloud cover here. And the pitch. Now the shadows back out as the sun is as well. And there's a swing and a miss. 1-2 to Mike Plavisa. Plavisa now awaits. The set. And the pitch. Down low. The tension building through this at bat. Is the count even at 2-2 now? Two balls, 2 strikes. Caleb Xavier gets the sign from Evan Orzik behind the plate. And the pitch. Missed outside, 3-2. A bad one here would load the bases with 1 away. Crowd starting to get into it here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. Ball 4 outside, and that does load the bases. So the bags are filled with bees. And now a meeting at the mound here. There is action in the St. Xavier bullpen. And I believe that is the lefty Noah Scott warming up. Meanwhile, the discussion continues on the mound. Some of the players, the infielders, head back to their positions. Home plate umpire, though, going out now to tell the coach to leave. And we're ready to resume. So here's Nate Villagomez, the catcher. 0 for 1, he's flied out to left field. So the bases are loaded. An extra base hit in the right place could suddenly make things very interesting. It could potentially make it a 2-run ball game. Caleb Zier trying to get out of the jam. Here's the pitch. And that'll be in for a called strike at the knees. And it is 0-1. He needs a strikeout, a pop-out, a line-out, or a double play here. Does Caleb Zier. Here's the set now by the right-hander. And the delivery. Breaking ball down and away. Good stop behind the plate there by Orzik. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded, 1 away. The only out was the sacrifice by Chris McFarland in this 5th inning. It's been a lengthy half inning. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, the ball down in the zone. And so Villagomez behind now at 1-2. Great location there. Not much you're going to be able to do with that pitch. Either you miss it, you foul it off, or you're weakly hit into fair territory. Although the infield playing back right now, double play depth. That might have some interesting outcomes. Swinging a ground ball to the right side. Ranging over to his left is Hayes. Throws to second for 1. Relay from the shortstop, not in time. So they do not turn 2. And a run comes in to make it a 5-1 ball game. Bryce Vincent scores on the play. Jake Muha to third as Pavisa forced out for the second out of the inning. Villagomez aboard, and let's see here. Jalen Avery will come in to run again for St. Ambrose. And now that will be it for Caleb Zier. It's a great hand from his teammates and the St. Xavier supporters here at Dooley Health and Care Field. So we have a new pitcher coming into the game. We'll take a break, tell you about that after we return. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball.
Comes to the plate for St. Ambrose, number 8, Noah McCreary.
So Noah Scott comes into the game now for St. Xavier. And he will come in to face the top of the order here. And it'll be Noah McCreary now to bat against Scott. Lefty versus lefty. Runners at first and third. 2 away, a run in here for St. Ambrose. The first pitch, and it will not be made. It'll be a throw to first base instead. So Caleb Xavier is still responsible for the runners on base as he goes 4 2/3 in this game. Scott, the tall left-hander, now comes set. And the pitch. Curve, a real sweeping curveball, and right in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. That ball seemed to get to the plate in slow motion. No balls and 1 strike, and the pitch. Fastball strike on the outer half, and that makes it 0-2. And right now, Noah Scott, so far not messing around here. He wants to get out of this inning without any further damage. Left-hander comes set in the pitch. Swinging a bouncer foul right side. And will hold at 0-2. McCreary is 1 for 2 with a single. Singled back in the 4th, advanced further on an error, but was left stranded at third base. Here's the set and the delivery. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and just like that, Noah Scott slams the door on any further St. Ambrose hopes of scoring. So in the inning, 1 run as St. Ambrose able to cash in on the error. 1 run, no hits, an error, and 2 left on base halfway home in our 3rd game of the day. And it is now St. Xavier 5, St. Ambrose 1. You are tuned to CCAC Tournament Baseball. We move to the bottom of the 5th inning here in our elimination contest, and Sam Ryan leading it off for St. Xavier. And he takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Ryan 1 for 2, a strikeout and an RBI single here this afternoon. This is the 2nd game of the day for both teams. Swinging a bouncer left of the mound out towards short. Vincent up with it, throw to first base, right on the money, and 1 away in the inning. So on 2 pitches, an out recorded there by Ryan, and that brings to the plate Daniel Barrios. So Barrios now will bat. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. And the first pitch coming in from Connor O'Hara, starting his 2nd inning of work a moment ago. And it'll be up high for ball 1. O'Hara working quickly, deals. Popped up in the air, right center field, and that'll be caught as moving to his left, Jake Muha. That ball had more carry than a pop-up, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. So that'll be a fly out to center field, and that leaves it up now to Trevor Hauscher. Hauscher in this game is 0 for 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts. O'Hara working on a 1-2-3 inning, and the first pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Colin Wolfe would be next, then back to the top of the order. 5 runs and 6 hits, 2 errors for St. Xavier. And 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error for St. Ambrose as that 2nd pitch coming in. And it'll be a ball to make it an even 1-1 count now. Here's the set by O'Hara and the pitch. Breaking ball there, and Hauscher way ahead of that one. He made contact and pulled it well foul to the third base side. So now he's in a 2-strike situation. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The set. And the pitch. Swung on and a fly ball. Left center field this time. Moving over now is Jake Muha again. One-hand catch and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Kano O'Hara there. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And after 5, it is St. Xavier 5, St. Ambrose 1. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. We head to the 6th inning. Adrian Zatara leading it up now for St. Ambrose. And he goes after the first pitch and a foul tip at home plate. And it is 0-1 for Zatara. 2, 3, and 4 in the order coming up for St. Ambrose. Here's the 0-1. Down and in. And that evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. It'll be Zatara, Huckabone, and Weber due up. Both starters now out of the game for a while here. There's a ball high and away. And the second pitcher of the game, Hernandez for St. Ambrose, going 2 2/3, allowing 2 hits, a run that was earned. He walked 2 as there's a foul ball. And he walked 2 and struck out 5. And meanwhile for St. Xavier, as Scott looks in for the sign now, the kick in the left-hander deals. And that'll be fouled up to the left side. Zatara kind of out in front of that one. Caleb's here today for St. Xavier, went 4 2/3 innings. Started a swing, held up, called third strike anyway, and that's the first out of the inning as Zatara is a strikeout victim to start the St. Ambrose 6th inning. 1 away, and that'll bring to the plate Cooper Huckabone. So again, Caleb's here 4 2/3, 2 hits, a run that was unearned. Walking 2, and he fanned 3. First pitch here to Huckabone, in for a called strike, 0-1. Huckabone 0 for 2 in the ball game. After the strikeout now, Zatara, by the way, 0 for 3. Huckabone with a ground down and a fly out, and he rips this one right back through the box and knocked down behind the bag at second base, and a great attempt there by Hayes, who was able to dive and get on the ball. He did make a throw to first base, but too late. And so Huckabone with a single here with 1 away in the inning. There's a fantastic effort there. Ranging to his right there on the play, Patrick Hayes, and nearly came up with a miracle. So here's Weber now. He has grounded out and flied out, so he's 0 for 2, and the first pitch is in for a called strike, 0-1. Bryce Vincent next, then Jake Muha here. We play in the top of the 6th inning, 5-1, St. Xavier the lead. Here's the set now and the pitch. Breaking ball, low and away. And that evens it up at 1-1. St. Ambrose right now has been limited to 3 hits in this game. The 1-1. Curve, inner half, and a called strike. Well delivered pitch there, and the count goes to 1-2. Weber, left-handed batter, stands in. And the 1-2. Swung on a jam shot, popped up foul left side, out of play. Lands, I'd say, about 8 to 10 rows in the stands. I didn't see exactly the exact point where it landed because of the frame of the window here in the booth. But where it landed really would be the ultimate example of completely needless and useless information. Anyway, here's the set now, and the 1-2 just missed inside. And the at-bat continues for Brock Weber. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We play in the 6th inning. Elimination game here today. The 3rd of the day. First game won by St. Ambrose over St. Francis 7-2. Then St. Xavier topped Trinity Christian 9-6. Creating this matchup here for the right to advance to play Monday morning at 10 a.m. Here comes the set in the 3-2 now. And that was over the head of the batter. And that, in fact, was a 2-2 pitch. And now to go to 3-2. Had one extra ball filled in on my score pad here. Here's the set now by Noah Scott. And the pitch. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Perfect pitch there. And that'll be out number 2. And Scott able to get the first 2 outs of this inning with a single in between, but the 2 outs both on called 3rd strikes, and that leaves it up to Bryce Vincent. Vincent is 1 for 2, a single. He's also reached base on an error. Lefty versus righty, and the pitch. And that'll be in for a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Vincent, after reaching on the air, scored what to this point is the only run of the game for the Fighting Bees. Breaking ball, wave and a miss. So he was way ahead of that off-speed pitch. And now Noah Scott a strike away from getting out of the inning and stranding a runner at second base. As Huckabone now at second. And I'm going to look back and see when he took second base. Looked up and there he was. Here's the set and the delivery. And that'll be sliced down the right field line, foul. And, there was a ball called. So Huckabone going to second on our first balk of the tournament. And that went completely by there. Here's the set now by Scott. Looks back at second base and the delivery. And that'll be over but low. So now 1-2. So Scott trying to work around not only a single but a balk. Here's the set. The 1-2. Swung on, lifted in the air, right field. Moving over toward the line, Daniel Barrios reaches up, makes the catch. And that will end the inning. He was looking around for somebody to throw the ball to after he made the catch, and he finally tosses it to his center fielder, Colin Wolfe, as the inning comes to an end. So in the inning, no runs on a hit, no errors, a balk, and 1 left in scoring position. We go bottom 6. It is St. Xavier 5 and St. Ambrose 1. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. we move to the bottom of the 6th inning now. St. Xavier maintaining that 5-1 lead. And the number 9 hitter in the Cougar order, Colin Wolf, taking a strike and then a ball to make it 1 ball and 1 strike here to the leadoff hitter in the 6th inning for St. Xavier. And there's a swing and a pop foul straight back. And so now 1-2 here for Colin Wolf. Wolf will bat then back to the top of the order, and Kevin Dowling and then Patrick Hayes. Here's the 1-2. Right back up the middle and into center field for a solid single there for Colin Wolf. So Wolf with a leadoff base hit here for St. X. And now back to the top of the order as we mentioned. And here is Kevin Dowling. Dowling, 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 runs scored here this afternoon. Here's the set of the pitch. Bunted up the third base side, and it'll spin foul. I thought for a minute there it might just stop dead right there and stay fair, but it did spin foul to the left of the third baseline. And so 0-1 here to Kevin Dowling. Dowling singled back in the 4th, advancing a passed ball, and then ultimately came around to score. Bit of a delay. Now he's back into the batter's box. Throw to first base and the runner back in. 5-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now 1-1 the count here as that pitch results in the 1-1 count to Dowling, who's back into the batter's box. Throw to first again and the runner back in. Connor O'Hara starting his 3rd inning of work in relief for the Bees, swinging a ground ball that stays on the ground all the way, and it'll go into left field between 3rd and short for a base hit. Back-to-back singles here for St. Xavier. And they've got something going on here in the bottom of the 6th inning, as runners now at 1st and 2nd. And that'll bring to the plate Patrick Hayes. Hayes has reached once in 3 plate appearances. He was hit by a pitch, later scored in the 1st. And since then he's grounded out twice. He bunts the ball here, pops it up behind home plate. Villagomez able to slide and make the catch for the out. A nice play there by Nate Villagomez. And that'll be the first out of the inning. So the sacrifice attempt not successful there. And that now will bring to the plate Evan Orzek. Orzek has reached every time he has batted. Now Villagomez, I think the catcher, wants a new helmet and mask combo here. Or at least they're going to do a little work on it. Nope, he gets a new one. So an equipment replacement there for Nate Villagomez. And now we're ready to get back at it. And now a brief discussion at the mound. Villagomez, O'Hara, and Cooper Huckabone having an enjoyable chat on the mound. That's a reference to Dr. Strangelove. Those of you who might get that rather obscure reference. And now the meeting breaks up, and now we'll have another situation here at the mound. And will we have a new pitcher come into the game? Yes, we will. And that might have been an effort to give the new pitcher a little bit of time to get a couple of more warm-up tosses into the bullpen. So Connor O'Hara comes out. And a new pitcher coming in for St. Ambrose. We'll take a break, come back and tell you more about it after a timeout. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. Hunter Kime now is in the game for St. Ambrose, the right-hander making his second appearance of the tournament. And he comes in here with 1 on and 1 out in the St. Xavier 6th inning. Kime this season a 6-1 record, 1.93 ERA, has 3 saves, has not made a start this year. 28 innings pitched, 21 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, 5 walks, 29 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .212 against him. And Evan Orzek will be the first man to face the right-hander. Here's the set of the first pitch, and that'll be inside for ball 1. Kime, the graduate right-hander from Rock Island, Illinois. 1 ball and no strikes here now to Evan Orzek. Here's the set by Kime and the pitch. Orzek goes after it and hits a liner, 1 hopper, and glove there at second. 2 short for 1 as then a spin move. Here's the runner coming in to score from third base as they cannot attempt a double play. McCreary fielded it, fired to the shortstop. Vincent covering the bag at second, and then his relay throw not in time, and it allows the runner to come in to score, and that makes it a 6-1 ball game. Very good base running there by Colin Wolfe. Dowling forced out. Orzek aboard. Adelacy will run for him again now at first base. Wolfe again coming in to score, and that makes it a 6-1 ball game. And now here is Declan Smythe. First pitch to him and a mighty cut missing, and then a throw to first base, 1 hopping into Huckabone, but the runner back in safely. So 0-1 to Declan Smythe, who has a single in 3 trips, actually officially 1 for 2 with a sacrifice. So now a 6-1 ball game, and the pitch. That'll be in the dirt, and the count even at 1-1. Darren Zerillo will be next if the inning continues, and it will unless there's a double play, which is eminently possible here. There's a ball outside. Runner going from first to second. No throw here by Villagomez, and that reduces the chances of a double play drastically. So Hadley now in at second base. Chance to score his 3rd run of the game. Swinging a foul to the right side out of play. So now it's 2-2 to Declan Smythe. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, a run in here. 6-1 St. Xavier. The offense producing here today for the Cougars. 15 runs thus far in the 2 games. Fly ball down the right field line. Long run here, but playable, and a nice over-the-shoulder catch made in right field by Adrian Zatara, and that will end the inning. But St. Xavier adds to their lead. They pick up a run in the inning, 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and a runner left on base. And after 6, it's St. Xavier 6, St. Ambrose 1. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. So on we move to the later stages of this elimination game. Top of 7, 6-1 St. Xavier. And the first pitch of the inning here will be over but low to Jake Muha. As it'll be Muha, McFarland, and Pavisa do up here for St. Ambrose. There's a chopper, one hopper to third base. Little hop into the air there by Darren Zerillo. Fires right on the money to first for the out, and that's one away in the inning. One up, one down, and here's Chris McFarland. McFarland is 0 for 2, actually 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Struck out his first time up, then had the sacrifice, and he takes here a called strike, and it's 0-1. Next pitch, one hopper. Snared there by Noah Scott, runs halfway to the bag, underhands to first, and that's the second out of the inning. Well, as they say, once you deliver the ball, you're a defender, and Scott able to make that play nicely for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down on 4 pitches thus far, and that'll bring up Mike Plavisa. 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for St. Xavier. 1 run, 3 hits, and an error for St. Ambrose. Plavisa, a strikeout and a walk. First pitch here, down and away, 1-0. Winner to move on and play Monday at 10 a.m. against the loser of the Roosevelt, Indiana South Bend game tonight. Swinging a ground to the right side. Diving stop there by Hauscher at first. Throws to the pitcher covering. Great glove work there all around in that inning for St. Xavier, and that's a 1-2-3 frame. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. Time for the 7th inning stretch. We go bottom 7, 6-1 St. Xavier. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. We go bottom 7, 6-1 St. Xavier. And the Cougars to bat on the heels of that great play there to end that last inning by Trevor Hauscher. And it'll be Darren Zerillo to lead it off now for St. X. Zerillo, Ryan, and then Barrios, and then Hauscher would bat a 4th in the inning. First pitch fouled away, and it's 0-1 here. Zerillo 1 for 3 in the ball game. And this pitch is going to be grounded to the right side, fielded by Huckabone at first, throws to the pitcher covering. It's in and out of his glove. It'll hit the sidewall, and so Darren Zerillo aboard at first base. And we'll see how the scoring goes on that. That was a tough play all around. As Evan Orsek again catching, although that would have been in the last inning as St. Xavier's batting. And here's Sam Ryan. And the first pitch. That ball was right at him. He bunted at it anyway. Halfway to the mound, that bunt goes. Picked up there, and then the throw to first base on a sacrifice to record the out. And Zerillo goes to second base. So one away runner in scoring position for Daniel Barrios. Barrios is 0 for 2 with a walk. Righty versus lefty here, and the pitch. Missing high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander Hunter Kime continuing on now. His first full inning of work for St. Ambrose. And the next pitch down and away. Good stop behind the plate by Villagomez. 2 balls and no strikes. Trevor Hauscher next, and then it would be Colin Wolfe. Bottom of 7 on a windy, now early Saturday evening. Still late Saturday afternoon. There's a ball high. 3-0. Late afternoon, early evening. 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. 3-0 to Barrios. And the pitch. Caught the outer half, called strike. 3-1. Game 4 tonight, about a half hour after this ball game ends. Roosevelt against Indiana South Bend. The pitch from Kime, lifted foul on the left field line, slicing out a play. Lights, by the way, are back now here at Dooley Health and Care Field. We have a 3-2 count here for Barrios. Kime kicks and deals. Swinging a foul straight back. We'll try it again. Good atmosphere here in Joliet. The crowd into it. Games becoming more and more important as we move deeper into the tournament. Here's the set now. And the pitch. Drilled to center field. That'll fall in for a base hit. Here's Zerillo rounding third. He will score without a play, and St. Xavier adds to their lead on the RBI single by Daniel Barrios. His first hit in 3 trips to the plate officially. As Zerillo scoring. And now here's Trevor Hauscher. Hauscher 0 for 3, fly to center field his last time up. Here's the set of the first pitch. Hauscher goes after it, misses. Throw on a back pick attempt to first base, but it one hops into Huckabone, who just knocks it down. No tag applied there. And Hauscher behind, no balls and a strike. Still waiting on the scoring decision on the Zerillo at bat when he reached first base. As that last pitch misses outside to make it 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the set now. And the pitch. And Hauscher takes it down low. 2-1. Bottom of 7. And now a 7-1 lead for St. Xavier. And the delivery. In for a called strike. So now we're at 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Trevor Hauscher. Hauscher, the number 8 hitter in the Cougar order. The pitch in the dirt, runner going, throw to second base, tag applied, and not in time. And so a stolen base there for Daniel Barrios. And St. Xavier still pressing the issue here, still staying aggressive. It is a 3-2 count to Hauscher. And the pitch. Started a swing and it hit the bat handle, so it's a foul ball as it went straight back. And Hauscher now will still be alive. Full count to the St. Xavier first baseman, the pitch. And that'll be a called third strike. Hauscher knew it right away, and he's going back to the dugout. And that'll be out number 2.
Number 20, Colin Wolfe.
And here's Colin Wolfe. Wolfe 1 for 3, singled last time up. Later came around to score. That was back in inning number 6. 7-1 ball game here. Bottom of 7. And St. Ambrose time running out on their season for the number 2 seeded team in the tourney. Swinging a foul tip at home plate, 0-1 to Wolfe. No balls. balls, 1 strike as the train rolls by. We have 2 platforms here just outside of the ballpark. There's a called strike. 0-2 here. Once took the Amtrak to St. Louis to see a Blackhawks Blues hockey game. It was a great time. Joliet to St. Louis. There's a swing and a high pop-up right side foul territory. Huckabone is over, makes the catch for the out. And that will end the inning. And so a run in the inning on a hit, and I believe an error announced there as well, and a runner left on base. And we have played through 7. The score: St. Xavier 7, St. Ambrose 1. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. We head to the bottom, the top of the 7th inning. Top of the 8th inning. There we go. We're back on track. And the first pitch here to the leadoff hitter. High and away, ball 1 to Nate Villagomez. 9-1-2 coming up in the order here for the Fighting Bees, who, as we said a moment ago, running out of outs. There's a called strike, and it's 1-1. Villagomez, McCreary, and Zatara do up. There's a swing and a grounder over the left edge of the mound. Declan Smythe moves to his left field, swirls 360 degrees, throws to first on a nifty play for out number 1. Now back to the top of the order and Noah McCreary. McCreary a single in 3 trips to the plate here in this game. So here we go now. And here's the wind and the delivery. And a 1-hop comebacker. And this will be another 1-3 put out. And so 2 away in the inning. And a pair of swift outs here for St. Ambrose. And that leaves it up to Adrian Zatara here in the 8th inning for the Bees. Zatara 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch here. And that'll bounce inside near the feet of Zatara and skip to the backstop, and it's 1-0. Here's the delivery, lefty versus righty. And that will be a strike, it looks like, on the outside half of the plate, and it's 1-1. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Mighty cut there, but Zatara coming up empty. Noah Scott on the mound for St. Xavier. Kicks and deals. And this ball is drilled but fouled on the right side. And it is 1-2 still. But we had some fear about weather earlier in the day. But so far, so good. Just a little rain in the first game, but nothing to get worked up over. There's a check swing. He went around. Strike 3, and that ends the inning. And St. Ambrose goes quietly in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. And we go bottom 8. It is 7-1 St. Xavier. You're tuned to CCAC. Tournament baseball. So we go on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order coming up here for St. Xavier now in a 7-1 ball game. And Kevin Dowling due up here for the Cougars. And here we go as the right-hander Hunter Keim kicks and deals, and it'll be a strike on the inner half. So 0-1 here to Dowling. And now the leadoff hitter, both in the inning and in the order, takes a called strike. 0-2. 7 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for St. Xavier. 1-3-2 for St. Ambrose. There's a foul back. And so we hold it. No balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th inning. St. Xavier 3 outs away from winning the 3rd of their 4 games in this tournament. Foul ball off to the right. And we'll hold it. No balls and 2 strikes. St. Xavier started the tournament with a win over Olivet Nazarene 3-2 in the 1 p.m. game Thursday. Then they lost to Roosevelt 7-1. Here's the pitch up high. And then in the elimination part of the bracket, St. Xavier winning this morning 9-6. And they lead here 7-1. 1-2 here to Dowling. And the pitch lifted in the air, slicing toward the right field foul line, but plenty of room here, and an over-the-shoulder catch made by Zatara in right for out number 1.
Number 45, Patrick Hayes.
So 1 away, and now Patrick Hayes to step in. Keim on the mound so far, an inning and 2/3 of work, 1 strikeout. Has not allowed an earned run and has not walked a batter, as there's a strike called here to Patrick Hayes. St. Xavier 3 in the 1st inning, as that next pitch creates a 1-1 situation here as it misses down and away. And that 3 runs may, as it turned out, be all they need. There's a foul ball off to the left side. 1-2 here. The only run of the game for St. Ambrose in the 5th, when they had that single tally as they trail 7-1. Here's the wind and the delivery. Popped up in the air near home plate. Villagomez off with the helmet and mask, moves over to the on-deck circle and reaches across and cannot hold on to it. And so the at-bat will continue. So Hayes stands in, and the count holding at 1-2 strikes. Or is it 0-2? Yeah, it's 0-2. Here's the wind of the delivery. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, and that'll be a strikeout for out number 2. Right now, this game has kind of a feel of resignation. Both teams seemingly knowing what the outcome might be here as we head to the final inning in a few moments here. As Evan Orzek will stand in. First pitch here, and it'll be taken for a called strike. 0-1. Orzek, a fielder's choice last time up. He has reached every time he has made a plate appearance. And that has created a busy day as well for his basically designated runner, Sean Hadlessy. There's a ball high, 1 ball and 1 strike now to Orzik. Hadlessy has scored twice in this game. Here's the wind of the pitch. Bounce to the left of the mound. Charging at shortstop. Bryce Vincent fields, throws. Nice play there to end the inning. Good defensive work there by Vincent on the putout. No runs for St. Xavier. No hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Last licks here for St. Ambrose, as it'll be Huckabone, Weber, and Vincent due up. We go to the 9th. It is 7-1 St. Xavier. This is CCAC Tournament Baseball. We head to the top of the 9th inning. And a new pitcher coming on here, Jimmy Fairley, a junior right-hander from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. And he will try to finish this game off now for St. Xavier. Noah Scott going 3 1/3, allowing a hit, did not allow a run, and did not walk a batter, and he fanned 4. Caleb Zier, the starter, in line for the win. And again, we go to the top of the 9th inning. It'll be Cooper Huckabone to lead it off here for St. Ambrose. Huckabone is 1 for 3. Singled last time up in the 6th inning, then advanced on a balk, but was stranded at second base. So here we go, top of 9. St. Xavier looking to close out this game and get the final 3 outs. First pitch here, Huckabone going after it. Slicing away from the center fielder, Wolf, and he lets it drop. It'll be in for a base hit. Well, Wolf was playing Huckabone to pull, so really didn't have much of a chance to get to that quickly dropping liner. And so a single here to start the inning for St. Ambrose. And now Brock Weber will come to the plate. St. Ambrose needs 6 to tie, 7 to take the lead. Weber 0 for 3, struck out looking last time up. First pitch here, and that'll be down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Bryce Vincent next, then it'll be Jake Muha. So we play here in the top half of inning number 9. St. Xavier 3 outs away from advancing and being able to play on Monday morning. The pitch. This is a hit hard and down the left field side, and it'll be a fair ball. And runners at first and second. Zerillo diving for that ball to his right, just nearly came up with it, but it just barely got by him. So ringing single for Weber, back-to-back hits for the Bees. And here's Bryce Vincent. Both bullpens are active right now. And a meeting at the mound, a little discussion here between pitcher and catcher for St. X. Back-to-back hits now, and St. Ambrose with 5 in the ball game. As Bryce Vincent will bat. Final game slated to start at 7 o'clock. Might be a little bit late, but it looks like not by too much, unless, of course, we have a huge rally here. That is a possibility, and who knows what can happen then. First pitch here, and that'll be down and in, 1 ball, no strikes for Bryce Vincent. Vincent has reached on an error, singled, and flied out. But not in that order. The single came first back in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch. Jam shot, and it's going to be fisted foul to the right side to make it 1-1. Boy, Fairley there really came in tight on that pitch. And Vincent got around on it and just was able to push it foul up the first base line. 1 ball, 1 strike. The set, the pitch, swung on and popped up down the right field line. 3 players trying to get to it. Sliding attempt here, and it'll drop just inside the line, about maybe a third of the way. And now they try to get the runner at second base, and looks like they got him. Well, we had a similar play earlier on in the tournament where the runners had to hold up for fear the ball might be caught, and that winds up to be a very unusual fielder's choice. Trying to get to that ball was Barrios in right field, made a sliding attempt, it dropped behind him, but they quickly recovered to the Cougars, and they get the out at second. So 1 away, fielder's choice eventually there for Vincent. Here's Muha now, runners at first and third with 1 out of the inning. And the pitch, and that hits Muha right on the waist there. That was a rocket of a pitch, and that will load the bases. Vincent to second. Jake Muha takes his base, and now Chris McFarland to bat. Well, a home run here would make it a 2-run game. Although with the wind, it's going to take a really long ball to get one out here today. And the second at bat of the tournament, Logan Smith from Indiana South Bend drilled a moonshot to straightaway center for what easily is the longest home run of the tournament, and now a meeting at the mound here. And will we have a new pitcher coming up? We're in the top of the 9th inning, and the reliever Fairley going through some bumpy times right now. Trying to navigate some high seas here. All right, the meeting on the mound breaks up. Fairley remains in the game. Although, again, action right now in the St. Xavier bullpen. And I think if St. Ambrose scores any kind of run here, they're going to go to the pen. First pitch here, behind the batter, and the catch made by Orzek behind the plate, and it is 1-0 to Chris McFarland. McFarland is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Grounded out back to the pitcher last time up. Fairley comes set now. Right-hander kicks and deals. Swung on. And in the air. Short center field. 3 players again trying to get to it. And Declan Smythe tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch. He could not do it. It landed behind him. They again try for a forced play at second. And I believe again they get him. Wow. The second time in the inning, a pop-up was not caught, and the runner at first holding up and forced at second. Cooper Huckabone scored on the play to make it 7-2. Let's see here. That's Vincent now, I believe, at third. Muha forced out on another fielder's choice. And that leaves it up now to Mike Pavisa. Runners at first and third. It's a 7-2 game. Righty versus lefty in the pitch. And that'll be a strike on the outer edge, and it's 0-1. Well, I think that might have been the one exception. A fielder's choice that results in a run. As they'll gladly trade the run for the out here, we'll say in Xavier. Here's the 0-1, well outside to even it up at a ball and a strike. Pavisa, a strikeout, a walk, and a ground out to first base. Trevor Hauscher making a great play on that last out by Pavisa. That was back in the 7th inning. Here's the delivery. Taken for a ball low. 2-1. St. Ambrose needs to keep the line moving and no margin for error. Here's the set. And the delivery. Low and inside, 3-1. Well, again, St. Xavier with a little bit of a cushion here. They lead 7-2, so if you walk a man and then give up a grand slam, it's still a one-run game. But I'm sure St. Xavier does not want any part of that scenario. But there's ball 4, down and in. And a walk there, loading the bases now for Nate Villagomez. We have a pinch runner coming into the game at first base. Yes, we will. So coming in to run at first now for St. Ambrose is Caden Thode, the freshman from Salina, Texas. That's Celina. It's either Salina or Salina, Texas, but either way, here's Nate Villagomez now. So Thode in to run at first base. Here's Villagomez. Grounded out to short last time up. Base is loaded, 2 away. First pitch here. Strike called on a little breaking ball there, and the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Villagomez, right-handed batter, awaits. One of many last hopes in this game for the Bees. They've been able to somehow keep the ball game going. There's a ball low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Villagomez is 0 for 3. A hit here would make it a 3-run game. Here's the set by Fairley in the pitch. It'll be down and in. 2-1. And you wonder right now how long the right-hander, how much longer they will stay with him. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the set and the delivery. Swinging a grounder over the right side of the mound, out towards second base. And fielded by Hayes, who flips to Declan Smythe covering the bag at second. They get the force playing on 3 fielders' choices. This game comes to an end. 3 fielders' choices in the inning as St. Ambrose picks up a run, but too little too late for the Fighting Bees. A run in the inning on 2 hits. And your final totals in this ball game: the St. Xavier Cougars, 7 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. And St. Ambrose, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. And so St. Xavier advances again, and now they will play on Monday morning. It'll be a 10 o'clock start as St. Xavier wins this ball game by a final of 7-2. Here in Joliet. So St. Ambrose is eliminated. And again, St. Xavier advances, and they will now play the loser of tonight's 12th game of the tournament between Indiana South Bend and Roosevelt. And much on the line in that game. The winner will have a very quick path to the final round. And the loser of that game will have to get up early on Monday morning and play an elimination game. So we'll have that for you coming up probably right around 7:15 or 7:20. We hope you'll join us for that. Thanks to Josh Wallfish on stats. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Final again. St. Xavier 7, St. Ambrose 2. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Hope you'll join us tonight. Either way, until we speak to you again, this is Tom Westenfeld. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, from Joliet, Illinois, we wish you all a very pleasant good night.